congratulations to Terence Crawford for making history once again by becoming a 4-division world champion, beating Madrimov by unanimous decision. Credit to Madrimov, he gave Crawford the toughest fight of his career till this day, which is a huge compliment. Nevertheless, despite the zone commentary, Crawford clearly won the fight. I mean, thank God they had Sean Porter doing the commentary tonight on the zone. Sean Porter was checking Grisham, Chris Mannix, and Sergio Mora all night long. He even had to tell them the scorecards are not going to be close and y'all going to be mad when Crawford wins the fight. What makes this so shocking is that Sean Porter usually follows the old media agenda to a T. However, the commentary was so biased against Crawford, even Sean Porter had to step in to save the day. Who follows the old media agenda and is on code more than they are. That's how bad the commentary was. They were sounding like they were praying Crawford was gonna lose. That's why I'm glad Sean Porter was there. I mean, he gave the best commentary I done heard for decades in the sport of boxing. Not being biased, telling things how they were. Madrimov did extremely well, and I believe he's gonna be the best 154-pounder when Crawford retires. I wanna see Madrimov versus everybody at 154 because he really looks like he's going to be that guy. However, tonight he was going up against the best fighter in the world. Now, Madrimov, I told you guys leading up to the fight, he has nearly 300 fights in the amateurs at the highest level. He made it to the highest level in the Olympics, which showed tonight from the opening bell, no one had Crawford reset more than Madrimov did, and Madrimov was resetting himself. Now, as the fight continued, it was Crawford's jab that won him the fight because Madrimov had a great lead hand as well. Now, Sean Porter made an interesting comment. He said the adjustments that he would have told Crawford to make was go orthodox to take the right hand away, which I thought that was pretty interesting to hear. Now, Crawford probably didn't do that because Madrimov had a good jab. From the orthodox stance, Madrimov has a great lead hand. So if Crawford turned orthodox to take Madrimov's right hand away, then he would have had to battle Madrimov's lead hand, which is the jab and the hook, along with the feints, freezing, and controlling with that hand. I don't think Crawford wanted to deal with all of that. That's why he stayed southpaw to take all of that away. It was Madrimov's style, skill, and his rhythm that gave Crawford a hard time. He simply wouldn't open up. Crawford is a counterpuncher by nature. If you don't open up, then you don't give Crawford any opportunity to counter. So what Madrimov did, he kept feinting with his hands and his feet. While switching positions, Crawford was forced to respect that. If Crawford didn't want to deal with all of that, you already know what they say. You fight the boxer and box the fighter. Now, what Madrimov did, he was boxing with Crawford. He wasn't fighting like his usual self because his usual self, he'd be loading up, throwing wild shots, lunging. Madrimov didn't do any of that tonight since he already knew he can't get caught lunging with a counter by Bud because that's going to be a knockout counter, which that's what Crawford was looking for. However, Madrimov wasn't giving him anything but feints, which, in my opinion, what Crawford should have had done is apply pressure and counter to the body, not the head, because Madrimov kept moving his head every time he threw a punch and before he threw a punch. Meanwhile, his body is a stationary target. Crawford figured that out more so. After the middle rounds, he started countering to the body more. However, what he should have had done was apply pressure more, either by, like Sean Porter said, turning orthodox, going to the high guard to apply pressure, and focus on the body, because Madrimov didn't like them body shots. Or if Crawford wanted to stay southpaw, apply pressure and counter to the body, force Madrimov to throw shots, then counter to the body, while being defensively responsible upstairs. I didn't like how at times Crawford was standing tall, throwing punches. And it was Madrimov who was moving his upper body and circling around Crawford. I mean, at times it almost looked like Crawford was trying to do like 50-50 exchanges. However, Madrimov wasn't having that. Now, Crawford did make the necessary adjustments toward the second half of the fight, and more so toward the end of the fight, when it almost seemed like Crawford was about to knock out Madrimov. Madrimov even went southpaw for the first time against Crawford because he was hurt. However, by that time, he was rushing to get the KO. Basically, he didn't have enough time to set up the KO blow. Crawford actually walked Madrimov to a nasty left-hand uppercut after Madrimov lunged, which is something Madrimov wasn't doing majority of the night. However, by that point, Crawford had Madrimov figured out. So Madrimov was desperate to do something. That's when he started throwing his lunging shots, and he walked straight to a counter by Bud. Crawford tried to go for the finish, but he didn't have enough time. Madrimov had a good chin, great surviving instinct, and great skills. Both fighters showed a lot of great skills tonight. That's why I want to see Madrimov back as soon as possible against the likes of Virgil Ortiz, Tim Tszyu, Fundora, even Jamel Charlo at 154. I want to see him against everybody. On the other hand, Crawford, he did what Canelo couldn't do, moving up to his fourth weight class to be a fighter from Uzbekistan. In fact, his Bivol teammate, the same guy who beat Canelo. Madrimov tried to do that against Crawford since Crawford was moving up to his fourth weight class, just like when Canelo did to fight Bivol. However, Madrimov came up short. With that being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below, and to be continued on the next episode of AKHi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.